Have not done a little introduction for one of these yet, so here it goes. Saw a question in the comments just asking for the link to the website of the dog booties for the snow I talked about in the last podcast. So check the caption and comments, and the link is in there. So here we go. Day had a nice mix to it. A lot of nice outdoor time. Sun was out. Snow makes everything look really pretty. Solid amount of work. Flipping through Instagram, realizing that coffee enemas are now a thing, which don't know how I feel about that, but looking forward to when someone starts doing Monster Energy enemas. Oh man, the what Instagram and social media has done to you know what? Actually, I don't even want to blame that. The fitness and health craziness has probably always been there. It's just really wild to see it that prevalent and show up everywhere. Anyway, not what I'm here to talk about. Oh gosh. Yeah, it was a solid day. Back to recording at night. We'll see how that goes for a little while. I'm getting up early tomorrow to coach the class. Gonna go work out with a really awesome friend. Actually, somebody I want to get on as a podcast guest. So we'll hassle him about that tomorrow. See what he says. But yeah, I was chatting with somebody today, and they were asking me what colleague who I really enjoy working with. And anyway, we were just kind of chatting about various things. And what we were up to last weekend. It was cold here, obviously, so everybody's navigating that differently. And I was just saying, like, did a bunch of things around the house, did X, Y, and Z project, focus on starting this new project. And she said, that sounds like a lot of adulting. And it made me laugh a little bit because, I thought about this phrase that I hear, adulting. And I don't think she was using it in a negative way. I wouldn't expect that from her. But I think some people kind of use it in a way that kind of has this like pejorative meaning. Whereas like if you're adulting, you're like doing this like obligatory, never-ending list of have-tos. And when she said, "Yeah, adult," sounds like you were doing a lot of adulting, I thought to myself, yeah, I was. And it kind of dawned on me, adulting is just kidding, like doing kid stuff with higher consequences. I like the long lists of tasks, and I think back to like being young and, having less obligations as a kid. You just kind of had like this little list of to-dos. Some of it was probably pretty asinine, but to you, the 6-year-old, it was really important, or the 10-year-old or whatever, 50, it doesn't matter. But I was thinking a lot about that the other day, sort of how, recurring mundane tasks can become maddening and mind-numbing, and what do you do? Because you're going to have some of those in your life. Like for me, like why the hell would you dry dishes? Why would I do what the air does and has done for thousands of years better than I ever could? But I was thinking about that. Adulting is kidding with higher consequences. It's just like, adulting is just like a billion different side quests. And I think still a lot of us have so much we can choose to put on that list. There are very few things that I think, quote unquote, have to be on that list. We're just not filling it up with the right stuff. I was listening to some stats from the day-long TikTok ban. And I think something like, they get hundreds of millions of logons on TikTok, and the average TikTok user, adult, spends 50 minutes on it a day, so an hour, which is cool. And maybe if that's what you need, your little veg time, your brain rot time, I get it. I go doom scroll crazy on Instagram, and I love it. I go through these little periods where I won't look at it at all, and then I'm just, just like everybody else, I'm blasting memes out to everybody. But man, I think I've been trying to pay attention more to the day of like, where am I putting my time, and what am I putting my time into? Whether that's like, is it TV? Is it just sitting, staring out the window, being, inefficient, is being on social media. And there's lots of time out there to grab back. And so the adulting for me, I was talking to a buddy the other night. I love the little tasks. The adulting for me is just, like I said, it's a million little side quests. Just getting loot, up leveling your skills. I think it's great. I like adulting. Because I also still fit the silly kid stuff in there as well. But anyway, recurring mundane tasks. I think they can drive you crazy. And I was thinking about this a lot the other day, about what they are, why they drive us nuts, what do we do? And it reminded me of a quote I heard. I don't know who I heard it from. It might have been Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I'm sure it's popped up, other places. But I think he said something to the extent of like, artists bring wonder to the mundane, in the simple. And I think one of the ways to make these recurring mundane tasks more interesting is going back to this concept we talked about a while ago, is like, there really is an art to everything. The other day snowed, and we don't have we don't get a ton of snow, and we don't have especially compared to where I grew up, we don't have a lot of space that we need a plow for. So I bought one of those. I think it would not be that fun to shovel it with a typical snow shovel every time. So I bought a snow pusher, and I'm kind of going through it and using the snow pusher to kind of push the snow in these really, really long lanes. And it's kind of a pain, and I don't like what it's not really that efficient, and there's a bunch of trail off of the snow, and I got to go back over another lane, and sometimes I'll catch on something on the ground, or too much snow piles up, and it's, significant effort to push, and I'm kind of like, God, this is annoying. And by the end of it, I kind of realized that there was this technique to it where you would go in shorter, you do half the driveway in shorter diagonal strokes, and then you'd walk back up and you do the other half of the driveway in short diagonal strokes, just at the opposite angle. And it was super fast, and it was efficient, and there was footwork to it, and there was timing of when to step and when to push and how to step back. And there was had this really nice fluid motion to it. I was like, oh yeah, there's an art to this otherwise, mundane task. There's an art to this thing. And it was funny this year. I don't like putting up Christmas lights. But what made it 1,000 times more interesting for me, and I wouldn't put it on my top of my list of can't wait. We had this couple at the gym, great couple. They come in regularly to 6:30 class, and they go all out on the Christmas decorations. They invite people over to an open house to see their decorations, which is amazing. So they love it. So one person's mundane task is somebody else's championship season kind of thing. But I don't love putting up Christmas lights, and kind of get annoyed by it. So I spent a ton of time researching how to do it. What's the technique? Are there tools for it? Is there Christmas light hanging theory? And I'll tell you this, sometimes recurring mundane tasks are a real pain in the ass. But when you start to uncover the details of them, the art to the thing, man, it becomes more interesting. And you start to realize how many different ways there are to do something, efficiencies to doing something, how many people out there know more about some seemingly inane task than you do. And this could range all the way from shoveling your driveway to hanging Christmas lights to drying dishes to sorting and stacking tools, to organizing something, to mowing your lawn. And again, a lot of these recurring tasks that at times just feel like we're not fucking moving the needle. You're just doing this thing again. Dive into those details. What is the art behind doing that thing well? It makes it so much more interesting. I won't say it alleviates all the stress or annoyance for me of doing the thing, but I feel a lot more accomplished. I feel like a better person. I feel like I know more, and also once you uncover that art, you kind of make it look nice when you do it. just not just winging it. So I thought that was really cool. Bringing wonder to the mundane by diving into the details of the thing. The mowing one is really fun. I destroyed my lawn last year, so I learned a lot about lawns and lawn care, which, again, where I grew up, you just let the lawn do its lawny thing, and it would rain, and it would grow out of control, and you basically had to, really work to kill it. Now here, you need, your dog farts on the lawn, and it's all dead. So, the wrong type of ladybug flies down, and the lawn's dead. But, I thought a lot about that. Adulting, those recurring mundane tasks, find the art to them. There's a lot of beauty in that. Interesting. It's a good side quest. Anyway, that's where we're at. Back on the evening recording. Happy where we're headed here. Excited for tomorrow and the rest of the week. More tomorrow.